Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Di, and today we are going to be answering your questions all about our upcoming move. I'm excited that you're excited and that we're excited. So let's just go ahead and dive into the most asked questions here on YouTube and also over on Instagram about our move. First things first, if you didn't watch the previous video, a couple videos back probably at this point, because I think I'm going to have a video about staging and some fun things like that. But check out the video I have linked below about our move to Minnesota and our announcement of that. We are moving to the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, so that was something that was asked because I referenced Minnesota a number of times, but I don't think I said Minneapolis-St. Paul until right at the end of the video. But we are moving to the Twin Cities. We are moving for relocation for my husband's career, my husband's job, and he has already started that new job actually. He's starting out remote, but then once he gets up there, he will be working in the office a few days and working at home a few days. They are hybrid. So that was one of the questions actually. Someone asked if he would be working at home still, because he is working at home here. And so it's a different type of position, although it's still like a certain type of engineering, but they'll get to do a lot of testing and, as I call it, playing with toys at work. So he's going to be like a giant kid in a sandbox every day at work. So that is a lot of fun for him. But I'm going to go ahead and flip over to my questions on Instagram. You guys had a lot of good questions. You guys thought of a lot of good things. And I just posted it up in stories and people could answer directly from there. So it worked out great. And then I also had some questions in the comments on YouTube, so I will flip over to those as well. So I'm just gonna flip through all of the questions and try to answer as many as possible, and then we will go on from there. So first question is, are your daughters excited? And I got this in a number of different forms, but 1997 BJB 2001 is a person that I just happened to look down and, you know, grab that question. And she asked, are your daughters excited? So they are very excited. They're excited about moving back to the Midwest. It feels very much like a home for us. They're excited about the climate. They're looking forward to those 4 actual seasons and snow and all of those good things. And they're just looking forward to, I think, what I call living in a more suburban area, but just having more amenities like parks, more things to do. There's multiple kids museums there. There's a zoo there. There's botanical gardens there. So just having a lot more within a close driving range. There's a Great Wolf Lodge there. We'll definitely be going there. Mall of America, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So, like I said, I think that's something that we're all excited about, is those things. They also enjoy, you know, the new rooms and all of that. So there's a lot of goodness in it. And they're planning on keeping up with their friends from here and that they've had all along the way. Through their, you know, electronic devices, they do have ways that they keep in touch with them. So that is all very positive. So let me flip over and answer another question. Mouse House Mommy asks, when will you officially relocate? So by the time that you're watching this video, we are probably hitting the trucks getting loaded phase. I don't know exactly when this is going to be uploaded yet, but the trucks are probably being loaded right now if they're not already loaded by the time that you're watching this. And I will be vlogging our whole move portion, and I'll upload some vlogs afterwards. Then we'll have some vlogs while we're, you know, kind of transporting up there and while we're in the extended stay. And then I'll really get into more regular vlogging. I mentioned in that last video where we announced it that I was going to start more regular vlogging. That'll really kick in and start once we're up there. And that's going to be right at the end of July. So depending on when you're watching this, we probably have already moved. If you're watching this way in the future, we definitely have already moved, and who knows if we're in the same spot still, if it's years and years later, because that's how we roll. But you know, you're going to be watching this, you know, pretty much starting to be close to pulled up to real time. And you can always follow us over on Instagram at Being Mommy with Style, and I like to share some more real-time updates, you know, in the post and in the stories over there as well. So that's always a good place to check and see, you know, where we're at in the process. But we'll be filming some vlogs as we move, and I'll get those uploaded as quick as possible. And then you'll start getting more daily style type of vlogs as it gets closer to when we are actually in our house there. Which was another question I know that I got, and I'm gonna flip through here. You guys had a lot of good questions. I'm gonna try to see if I can find, oh, Proud MWS Mom, which I believe she's in Minnesota also. She asked, did we get a house in Minnesota yet? Yes. So we do know where we're going to be moving to in Minnesota. I really wanted to wait to announce until we're pretty much done at this house, till we pretty much knew we were going to be going on that side. It's a long process. It really is. So if you announce like way in the beginning when this all starts, y'all gonna be sitting around like, okay, when are you gonna actually do something? You know, so I like really just starting to talk about this once the action is starting, for lack of a better way to put it, because there is a lot of planning that goes into moves way in advance. It's months and months in advance. It was like this for every other single relocation. So even though, you know, you're kind of diving in right here with the time we're moving, it's like months and months of preparation. Yes, long story short, yes, we know which house we're going to be moving into. We're super excited. We love that suburban feel where there's just kind of lots of cities connected to each other around the whole. I do this, you're going to see this a lot in my videos, because Minneapolis-St. Paul is literally like a circle. There's literally roads that circle around Minneapolis-St. Paul. It's great. And there's just towns on every single side. There's things to do, there's towns around the whole thing. So it's two main cities, as the name would suggest, twin cities next to each other. And there's just a ton to do. So very excited about that aspect of it. So another person asked, let's see, they specifically asked me, how do you personally feel about the move? Dat MVP 19 asked, how do you personally feel about the move? Will you miss the warm weather year round? So this is a tough question, because I very much enjoy like going to explore new places. So that part is very, very enjoyable for me. I love moving into a new house, decorating a new house. All of that process is very enjoyable. We're very, very fortunate because someone else has to come pack up our stuff and move all of our stuff. And really, to me, that is the most stressful part of moving. So if you have that part included in a relocation or a military move or that sort of thing, where they're coming, they're packing you, they're getting all your stuff to the new place, you really just have the fun stuff left. It's still stressful, it's still its own kind of unique situation and stress, but that really takes a lot of the load off. So then I can kind of focus on the fun stuff. So I'm excited about that for starters. I think that, you know, Alabama has really been a beneficial place for us to be. Like I said in a previous video, it was good for my husband's career for this move down here, particularly to get into the industry and the company that he's in. That was really the big purpose that this move served. It really changed the pace for him. It changed his whole lifestyle, and honestly, it just lifted a huge weight off of him. So for him to be able to work in motorsports, which he loves, is a really huge benefit. But you asked what I think, not what everyone else thinks. So I think that, you know, this place has really served its purpose for us, and I definitely live life by a feeling. And so I really feel like this has served us well, and it's time to thank it for its service and move on. For, you know, literally no other terms to put it into. I have kind of felt after COVID that we were meant to move on and do something else. I didn't really know what that was yet, but as this picture started to solidify, this definitely feels like the right path and where we're supposed to be next. So I'm looking forward to going on the adventure. As far as the warm weather goes, here's the thing about me. I like warmer weather. I will love snow. Like, I'll be posting all about it on Instagram for about the first 3 days that there is snow. It's beautiful to look at. It's mesmerizing. Then after about the third, fourth, fifth day, it's like, okay, I'm done with this. And I'm sure everyone knows, Minnesota is like 3 months, 4 months, probably more than that, of snow. So it's like the length of it that wears on you. Not even like, you know, it's the cold and then the length of it. So that part is the part that I just am psyching myself out, because I know what it was like in Michigan, and so I know the length of it is what gets to you. But I think that it's going to be very workable. There's lots of ways to work around it. And like someone else mentioned in the comments on YouTube, there's always heading to Disney in the middle of the winter to get a little sun break. For me, that happy balance of not too hot and not too cold would actually be my optimal, but I also really love 4 seasons. So, you know, like we've joked with people that we are friends with here, we're probably just RV people and haven't realized it yet, but we'll see. So let me see. A lot of people ask questions about business and work, and I think that's like a whole video like series and touching on after we've moved in, and I will talk about that as a part of the vlogs. So that is like a whole, it's its own video. So there's a lot of backstory there. Crystal Para asks, do you know how permanent this move is? Like, do you know if you'll be there for a long time? And a number of people ask this question in different various forms, like, are you gonna move again? Or like, is this your forever home? And I never really know quite how to answer this one. Every single time we move, people ask a variation of this question. We never really, we never go into a move saying like, we're gonna move again in 2 years. That's just not how these things happen. We also have hit the point that we're also realistic enough that we don't really look at anything as a forever home. It's like never a forever spot, because never say never and never say forever, I guess. I don't know. Because there's always the possibility that we could get moved, that things would change, that he would decide to work, in a different capacity. And so it's more complicated than saying, I understand that there's people out there that have lived in one place their whole lives and they have never moved anywhere else, and they don't have any desire to live anywhere else. But because we are so in tune with moving, it doesn't bother us, I think, in the same way as people that come from that background. So do we plan on moving anytime soon? Not other than next week, no. So I'm just trying to get through this next one before I even know ahead. As far as hopes, plans, desires, I don't know. You have to go where the situation is right at the time. And obviously things change, but things also stay the same. So we could be here for the duration. That's part of the fun, is finding out what happens, right? That was the most non-answer I could give to any question. Short answer, like, who knows? Like, toss a coin in the air, because that's about as good percentage you have as anything with us. I think I touched on this. Someone did ask, will he be working from home? They're hybrid, so they're in the office some days and at home at others. But that's also really nice, because with the winter weather up there, they can work at home. If like we're in the middle of getting a blizzard, that's going to be nice. Let's see. A lot of folks from Minnesota are telling us we're going to love it. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you for the positive encouragement. Ballet dancer Erin asked, was this unexpected? I feel like the girls were just redecorated. So they were redecorated. I said it kind of down in the midst of the other video, but they were staged also. That was also part of the staging of our house. Now, they did pick out those themes, and I was already planning on buying them new furniture, but new furniture is really easy to do, even if you're planning on moving, because it just moves with you. So they'll take those same furniture pieces that I just got and the themes and all of that and move it to the next house. Although Natalie is already telling me that she wants like a galaxy theme or Star Wars or something, so she may already be on to another theme. But Isabella is planning on keeping the nature and plant inspired theme at the new house, so you'll see that one there. So last question from Instagram, and then I'll go over to YouTube, and I think there was kind of similar questions between the two, but Southern Pixie Mama asked, do you think that moving back you'll travel more west in the future, like to say, for instance, Montana and that sort of thing? I thought that this was a really interesting question. So actually, yes, I do think that some of our vacation spots may be in a little bit of a different location, just by nature of where we're at and what's in our driving range. So we'll be within driving range of Chicago, which is great. I can also fly there and meet my friends there still, which is great. We'll be very close to the Wisconsin Dells, which is exciting because I've never been there. The kids have never been there. So you can probably expect us to be at the Wisconsin Dells at some point. There is a theme park in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area called Valley Fair. I think we'll end up there at some point. There's a Great Wolf Lodge up there. We'll end up there at some point. But then as far as your specific question going west, Yellowstone is a little bit closer. I still think we would have to fly. The Dakotas are a lot closer. I mean, these are areas I have never been in my life. So do I think that we will definitely try to partake in some road trips that may have been out of reach before that will now be closer? Absolutely. We'll definitely try to do that. We really tried to do that with our radius down here, driving to things like Rock City and things like that were within our radius. So we'll do the same up there. And I definitely think it does open up going out west a little bit more, going to some of those national parks, even like Utah, just because the flights are shorter. So we can fly out of Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport, which is a really large airport, has a lot of great direct flights, which is nice. and we can go to places that we've been wanting to go, but maybe have just been kind of putting off because it's kind of like out of the way or a really long flight. So something like a Utah, Yellowstone, those places could pop up on our radar. And Idaho, one of my friends just went to Idaho and it was amazing. So yeah, you may see some places that are new to us, new to our videos, and kind of a different location. Okay, so now we're gonna go over to YouTube. I also got tons of great comments over there. I was so excited to see how excited you guys were about us being back in the Midwest, about us being in Minnesota. I had no idea how many viewers that I had in Minnesota, so hello there. And also just general excitement about certain types of vlogs returning and that whole deal too. So let me pull up some of the questions. I appreciate all of the encouragement and suggestions from folks that do live in Minnesota. But let me pull up some of the good questions, and some of them were the same, but here was a really great one. Veronica asked, I wonder how Penguin's going to like the cold and snow. I wonder too. So Penguin has only ever had just a really thin dusting of snow down here, and he doesn't love having his feet wet. So I definitely see a dog parka, some doggy snow boots, and some things like that in his future. And we've even had to research like different things that you can do to encourage your dog to go out when it's really cold, because apparently this is a thing, like they don't like going outside when it's really super duper cold either. So this is going to be a whole thing that we will have to research and deal with. So we'll follow up on that and let you know how he likes it, but I'm very interested to see as well. Another great Penguin question from Jamie. She asked, what's up with Penguin during the move? Do you have any tips for selling the house with pets still living in it? I think that this is actually just a great standalone video, so I may kind of extrapolate on this while I kind of share some of my staging tips and share what I did with Penguin when we staged the house, sold the house, etc. So the longer answer is, like, while we're here right now, he's here at the house with us. So the house is sold, we're done with all the showings and all of that. What we did when we took the pictures was we pulled all of the pet stuff out and put it in the attic. So we luckily have like a walk-in attic at this house. So all of his pet beds, we pulled his dishes up, all of his kennels, all of that. And he went to doggy daycare for the day. This was before the house was listed. So luckily we already had him enrolled in like a doggy daycare here, and he went to doggy daycare. So that was the day we had the pictures done. Then on the time that it came to start showing the house, I actually enrolled him in boarding. So he went to the full overnight boarding, and we pulled all of his stuff up again. So that's what we did to tackle those two kind of key points when you're getting ready to list the house and listing the house. Coincidentally, we also sent ourselves to boarding as well. That's the weekend that we went to Gatlinburg. So now if you're kind of putting everything together, the dog went to boarding, we went to Gatlinburg, and our house went on the market, and that's the weekend that our house sold. So that was our plan for that time frame, and it worked beautifully. I would absolutely do it that way again. Now it's just like kind of like the process of selling, and he's still back in the house like right now, and it's fine. And then once we get to the actual move part, they are transporting one of our vehicles up for us since it's a long distance move. We are driving another one of our vehicles up, and Penguin will ride in that vehicle with us as we transport our way up. So that means that all of the hotels that we stay at along the way, the extended stay that we're going to be in for a short time period when we get up to Minnesota before we get in our house, I have to make sure that all of those places are pet friendly. And I have to build in the time that we're gonna have to stop. He's gonna wanna get out, he's gonna get a walk. So those are definitely additional considerations that we don't have or didn't have before we had a dog. So I think that's a really great question. I think that's like a whole video, and I definitely will share some more on that. So it's a great video that someone could reference in the future, and I could share that information that way as well. And then Cheryl asked, will your kids be going back to space camp next year since you'll be in a different state? And my answer is, I don't know, but I hope they come back to space camp at some point. I know that Natalie's already talked about one camp that she's thinking that she wants to go to. I know that Isabella may, when she ages up in the next camp, I think even be more interested in going to that camp because they do different activities. So I think it's definitely a possibility. A lot of the schools around here do space camp because they are so close. but actually a large percentage of the people that go to Space Camp, the overnight camp throughout the year, are from locations all across the United States and all across the world in regular years. So that's very normal for people to just fly in just to go to Space Camp and then fly back out. So that's definitely something we will consider for the future. All right, so that was a ton of great questions. Thanks for being so excited about our move. I was happy to be able to share it with you guys. I am going to be filming our whole moving process. They are going to be here to load us up next week. So it's going to be an adventure, that part in itself. So they'll come in, they pack our house over a couple of days. This is how our relocation moves have been. So the nice part is like I'm not like living in a sea of boxes, but it just condenses all of that craziness down over a period of a couple of days. But they came in and they did a moving survey a couple weeks ago. They saw how much we had, so that helps engage how much to pack up, what kind of truck to have, and all of that. So we're in that process right now. And then as soon as we get to the fun part where you can visually see things are getting packed up and we're getting moved and we're going on to our new location, I will do some moving vlogs during that point. So it's just a long process getting from point A, where you know that you're going to be moving, to point B, where things are actually in a truck and moving to your new location. But we're in that process of working it out right now, and we'll just be sharing along the way. So make sure you follow on Instagram if you don't already follow us over there at Be Mommy with Style. And I'll be sharing some things in stories and post along. And then I will have some moving vlogs coming up here shortly, and then vlogs once we get up into Minnesota. So thanks for watching today, and have a great day.